Alright guys, so this is a video just to give you guys an idea of what's going to be coming up on the channel. Some of these things you may see again, and some of them you may not. If you want more information about some of these products that you're seeing here, if you go onto the links down in the description and they don't answer your questions, then let me know, and maybe I'll do a follow-up video if I get enough comments on that. But for the most part, I'm just basically going to show you some of the stuff, and you're probably never going to see it again. So if you really want to see it again, you're going to have to speak up, otherwise you're probably not going to see it again. So I got a lot of catching up to do. I have so much stuff that's come in. I'm going to cram it all into this video, just get it out of the way so I can move on with other stuff. Okay, just to give you an idea of what's coming up on the channel in terms of builds, I finished this build here. This is the GEP-RC Mark IV HD frame. I had this frame for a while, put the DJI Air unit in here, and I built this up with a bunch of Newbie drone parts. This one here has got the smooth, I think these are the version 1.1, 2306, 1750 kV motors. And I've got the Infinity flight stack in there, the flight controller, and the 4-in-1 ESC. So this is the BL32 ESCs here. It looks like that. That's on the bottom, and then this is the flight controller, and this is made for DJI. I think I did a video on this a while back, but the build is done. You'll see this video sometime soon, so you'll definitely see a video on this one a little bit later, but just letting you know this is coming up. Oh, and by the way, everything that I've mentioned in this video is going to be linked down in the description. If you're wondering about where you can find any of this stuff, it'll be all down in the description. Okay, so I've got this new whoop that came in from iFlight. It's called the Alpha A85. I think a bunch of other reviewers have probably put a video out on this already. It's 1204 motors, got the Vista system here with the Caddx Nebula, and runs on 4S. And the reason I don't have a video on this one yet is because it doesn't fly that great. So I contacted iFlight, and they said that this particular one they sent me is not actually the production unit, so they're going to send me a final production unit. I'm not exactly sure why. I got a pre-release and the other guys got a production unit because they've already released their videos, and quite honestly their flight footage looks not any better than mine, so just kind of strange as to what's going on there. But this is coming. If you have any questions about this, let me know. Okay, I also got the HGLRC Moto Whoop in as well. And I've had this for a while too, but they said that they've made some configuration changes or something. I'm not exactly sure, but they wanted me to hold off on this video, so that's why you haven't seen it yet. I'm not sure why the other guys released their videos already, but yeah, this one is coming as well. I'm gonna get their final CLI dump and then fly it, but I haven't flown this one yet either. Okay, so I got a whole bunch of flight controllers and other various parts that came in as well. So this one here is the Z's 3030 stacks. These are 30 by 30 parts, and here are all the specs. I'm not gonna bother reading them all off to you. If you want to freeze the video and read that, go ahead, and I'll of course link it down in the description. But this is what it looks like, and these are some pretty nice parts, I'm told. They're designed in Italy, obviously manufactured in China like everything else is. 60 amp 400 ESC. Looks like these are 32 bits. And you got the flight controller here, and it's very unusual. I'm not sure if these are meant for additional parts to be placed in here because they're kind of blank. I think this is an F7, yeah, F722. Looks like it's got a black box chip on it. And these little pieces here where the screws go through are going to break in a crash for sure. Right there. This down here, not so much, but those up there will. I also got this frame from Z's as well. It's called the Capiche 5.5. And it looks like it's modular. It's like a racing frame, looks like, but it fits into this little tiny box. So that's what it looks like. Super quick look. I got this Racer Star Air F7 flight controller board in here, and the only thing that, You know, I was probably surprised, as you guys probably know, I don't do a lot of these flight controller reviews anymore. They just, they're all kind of the same. So you're probably not going to see a video on this one either. Looks like there's a little ribbon cable here that goes to maybe a 4-in-1 ESC. But on the bottom here, it has, looks like basically parts you can solder onto the board here. So I think these are regulators here, 9-volt and 5-volt regulator, and then you can solder on a Bluetooth module there, and maybe I think a Crossfire receiver here if you just want to save space. So that's really the only advantage of this particular board. But yeah, if you guys want to check it out, check out the link down below. Alright, so I got a bunch of these Whoop style all-in-one flight controller boards now. A lot of them have been bumping up their amp ratings. I think back in the day these were like 5 amps, and now they're like, I think 30, I think I have a 30 and a 35 amp one. So this one here is from Aurora RC. I believe this one is the 20 amp version. And I think, you know, they're all kind of similar. They're probably all clones of each other. I'm not sure if this is a clone of what. We'll see what the other ones look like. But I think this one's the 20 amp version. I think they also sell a 30 amp version as well. I was only able to get my hands on the 20 amp version of the Aurora one. And then this particular board does come with some mounting screws and nuts, and you get your plugs there if you want to use the plugs, and also the mounting, the little rubber grommets if you want to do vibration dampening. Alright, so this one here is the Mamba F411 25 amp all-in-one, and this one is their updated version. I think they previously had a 20 amp, I believe, and I'm not exactly sure if that was on the Diatone Tina Whip or not, but this is the upgraded version. I think they've basically just added more capacitors, it looks like. Yeah, so it looks like they had more capacitors on the side, possibly for voltage spikes. And there's just a little tiny 25 volt 330 microfarad capacitor you add onto the battery lead, and it comes an XC30 and your silicon grommets. But other than the additional amp rating, I think previously it was 20 amps, now it's 25 amps. I think that's really the only difference. And then this one comes with a little card with the wiring diagram, as you can see here, 2 to 4S, and on the board here you don't see any of the silk screening showing what the pads are for. Alright, so this is the GHF411 all-in-one. This one's the 30 amp version. So this company, I think they're called JHEMCU is the name of the company. I don't know who they're affiliated with, but you can see how all the boards kind of look similar now. Compare that to the other ones. This one kind of looks like the Diatone even. But this one comes with an XD60 and the plugs, and no external capacitor. And here's the backside. So this is rated for 30 amps, and they also sell this in a 20 amp version, which almost looks the same. I'll link them both down in the description. You can check out each one and see if you notice any differences. But yeah, if you're looking for toothpick style boards that can handle more current, you have this 30 amp one and other 20 amp and 25 amp ones, of course. Alright, this is the Foxeer F722 V2. And I think this one is 36S. This is the 30 by 30 version. I don't have the mini yet. That's the 20 by 20 that'll be coming later. I may do a video and show them both in that. But here's a quick look at it. Pretty clean layout. I probably did a video on the V1 at some point in the past, so I'm not 100% sure what the differences are, but if you're dying to know, leave me a question. Alright, so we got another board here. This is from Beta FPV. F4 all-in-one 35 amp toothpick board. So again, it's like, surprise, this looks pretty similar. Toothpick style board. 35 amps. I'm not sure if they made a 30 amp before and they upped it to 35 or what the deal is, but yeah, they had one before. This is their latest one. Nice big solder pads for the motors. I like that. Yeah, BLHeli 32. Well, these are 32 BDCs, so this is definitely different. And we have to do a separate video on this one. And most of the other boards are just BLHeli S ESC, so BLHeli 32, that's definitely different. And you got an XT60 connector there and a capacitor. So with this being 35 amps, you could probably put this on a lightweight 5-inch for sure. Okay, so I got another stack here from Hi-Fi on RC. And this one, I think this is a 20 by 20. Yeah, you got this little board here. That's your, basically your wiring diagram. And this is like a nice little board you can practice soldering on if you want to practice some solder, because those are real solder pads. And here's the flight controller and 4-in-1 ESC. And you get your accessories, your wiring loom, grommets, etc. in there. These look like M3 holes, and those grommets are probably converting these to M2 holes. And here's a quick look at the flight controllers. This is an F4, it looks like. Yeah, it's just an F4, not an F7. And yeah, this definitely looks like, this basically shows you the board layout and has a silk screening on there to show you what the pads are for. Alright, got a couple of video transmitters here from iFlight RC. Get the Force VTX and the Micro Force VTX. So the Micro here, it is up to 300 milliwatts. And you got your adapters for your micro outflow connector to SMA. And then you have these other board adapters for the video transmitter. This is like, I think, a 20 by 20 adapter, and then that's the video transmitter. And this one here is for whoop style, so 25 millimeter by 25 millimeter. And you basically, you can use these if you want. It's optional, but you, if you want to use them, you have to solder the video transmitter into here somehow like that. So you have to basically match up the different solder points and then solder it into here to hold it in. And then once you do that, then these solder pads become available to you. But here's what it looks like. Pretty standard. Video, ground, 5 volts, and RX is for smart audio. And here's your micro outflow connector on this side, and you get your button selector. And this is the 30 by 30. And I think this was up to 800 milliwatts. Yeah. So you got a connector there. This one is also 5 volts out if you want to use that at VBAT in for power. This interesting. So it has like these lights on the side for channel band and power, it seems. It kind of reminds me of the way the Rush Tank VTX works. Wondering if this is a copy of it or something like that. Solder pads on the bottom if you don't want to use a plug. That's nice. I like that. And an MMCX connector.